have to go, and you get up past 200, and then a chance of getting less that you'd have to get drafted. I made a mistake in there with that I applied for a student deferment when I was at Kenyon. Had I not, and had I let them go through the process and take me for a physical, I'd have been 4F.
Which means they wouldn't have taken you?
No, Then, but once I have an MD degree, I'm
fair game.
Yeah, I'm in. One kid or 5 kids and 1 kidney, and you were eligible then. And so, knowing that I was eligible there, that's when I decided I wanted to be sure I got my residency in under Dr. Garso. And so I let things. That's when I decided to join the National Guard, so I could be sure that I'd get my 4 years of residency in. And there's some of our guys that, and the Berry Plan was the other option. Besides the reserves, the Berry Plan was the other option. Berry Plan, if you signed up for that, you gave them, guaranteed that you'd give them 2 years in service when you finish your residency. But on the other hand, they'll guarantee you a job in your specialty when you went in service. And they allocated this around so they'd have the right number of orthopedic surgeons as opposed to internists, and that's where they allocated those around. And there were a few, like this fellow Tom Pagatus over here in Wisconsin, he never did anything. He just, and they never called him, never did anything with him, which was a surprise. And then there were other, like a fellow by the name of Bob Palmer, who was a couple of years ahead of me. He signed the Berry Plan. When the time came, he signed for the Navy. He signed for as an orthopedic surgeon. And when his residency was over, there wasn't any slot for him. So they said, they offered him anything else he wanted, and he said no. And so he got through his obligation fulfilled that way. I had some kind of nightmare a few weeks ago about
they were going to call you up
about having to go, and with all these young kids.
They're so software glitch.
I have some real dreams and really vivid.
Yeah.
The other night, I can't remember what it is. I told Mom about it. Oh, it was about the dailies. Did I say anything to you about the dinner in our Wednesday night group? My dream was that we went out. They had bought an old school building on the east side of Indianapolis, and it hadn't been used for 30 years. They bought it, and they were going to rehabilitate it and live in it. And when we get out there, they were having there was a big get-together party type thing, and he and she were taking me around to see the parts of their school building. And all of a sudden he said to me, he said, "Do you want to make some money?" And I said, "Well, how's that?" And he said, "Well, it's just, my wife just took out an insurance policy." I said, "We'll just kill her." And I said, "Well, you can't do that." And he said, "Well, yeah." I said, "Just watch." And we were in this room that had this trunk-like thing. It was and he opened the lid and just tossed her in and closed it. That was all there was to it. He said, that was kind of an incinerator or something like that.
Oh my God!
Because, well, anyway, there I was, and I wasn't saying anything to anybody. And all these people around there, nobody acting like there was anything wrong at all. And finally, except I was just really uncertain as to what I need to do. I thought, if I turn them into the police, I'll get caught in on the same thing because I was there. They may blame me for part of this. And anyway, Mom went off in one car to go home, and I went off in a different car, but I had to come back, and I came to the back door. And there she was walking out with this tray of something or other. And, I've just been had. It was a big scam.